and the Middle East is once again teetering on the brink. The long simmering conflict between Israel and Iran has erupted into open warfare marked by a dangerous escalation of violence. Gone are the days of veiled threats and proxy battles. Both sides are now engaged in direct confrontation, raising the fears of a wider regional war. The current crisis was sparked by a series of events that quickly spiraled out of control. It began with targeted killings, assassinations of key military and political figures on both sides. These assassinations, shrouded in mystery and denials, created a climate of fear and mistrust, setting the stage for the current conflagration. Adding fuel to the fire, Iran-backed militias have unleashed a barrage of rockets and missiles into Israel. These attacks, launched from Lebanon, Syria and Gaza, have targeted Israeli cities and military installations, causing widespread fear and disruption. The intensity and scope of these attacks are unprecedented, signaling a dangerous new phase in the conflict. Iran, facing crippling economic sanctions and internal unrest, has long relied on a network of proxy militias to advance its interests in the region. These militias, armed and funded by Tehran, operate in the shadows, striking at Israel and its allies with relative impunity. Hezbollah, the powerful Lebanese Shiite militia, has emerged as a key player in Iran's shadow war against Israel. With its sophisticated arsenal of rockets and missiles, Hezbollah has the capability to inflict significant damage on Israeli territory. Hamas, the Palestinian militant group that controls the Gaza Strip, has also joined the fray, launching rockets into Israel. While lacking the firepower of Hezbollah, Hamas possesses a deadly arsenal of rockets and mortars, capable of terrorizing Israeli civilians. Facing an unprecedented wave of attacks, Israel has responded with overwhelming military force. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, among the most advanced militaries in the world, have launched a relentless air campaign, targeting suspected Iranian and Hezbollah positions in Syria, Lebanon and Gaza. Israeli airstrikes have pounded military bases, weapons depots and command centers, aiming to degrade the capabilities of Iran-backed militias. The IDF has also targeted key infrastructure, including bridges, roads and power stations, in an effort to cripple the enemy's ability to wage war. On the ground, Israeli forces have launched incursions into Lebanon and Gaza, engaging in fierce clashes with Hezbollah and Hamas fighters. The Israeli government, determined to crush its enemies and restore deterrence, has vowed to continue its military operations until its security objectives are achieved. Section 4. The US and France walking a tightrope. The escalating conflict has put the United States and France, two key Western powers with interests in the region, in a delicate position. Both countries have condemned the violence and called for restraint, but their responses have been cautious and measured. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, has provided unwavering diplomatic and military support. The Biden administration has reaffirmed Israel's right to defend itself against attacks, providing intelligence sharing and military aid. France, which has a long history of engagement in the Middle East, has taken a more nuanced approach. French President Emmanuel Macron has called for a ceasefire and a return to negotiations, urging both sides to show restraint. France has also deployed troops to Lebanon as part of a UN peacekeeping force to help stabilize the situation and prevent a spillover of the conflict. French warships have also been dispatched to the eastern Mediterranean in a show of force and a signal of France's commitment to regional security. Section 5. A world on edge. The escalating conflict between Israel and Iran has sent shockwaves through the international community, raising fears of a wider regional conflagration. World leaders have expressed deep concern over the violence, warning of the catastrophic consequences of a full-blown war. The United Nations Security Council has held emergency meetings to discuss the crisis, but efforts to reach a resolution have been hampered by deep divisions among the permanent members. Russia and China, both allies of Iran, have blocked attempts to condemn Tehran's actions. The conflict has also exacerbated tensions between the West and Russia. The United States and its NATO allies have accused Russia of supporting Iran's military activities, providing weapons and intelligence. Russia has denied these allegations, accusing the West of fueling the conflict by arming and supporting Israel. Section 6. The uncertain future. As the fighting rages on, the future of the Middle East hangs in the balance. The conflict has the potential to escalate further, drawing in regional and global powers with unpredictable and potentially catastrophic consequences. A negotiated settlement seems unlikely in the current climate of mistrust and hostility. Both sides appear determined to fight on, believing they can achieve their objectives through military force. The longer the fighting continues, the greater the risk of miscalculation and unintended escalation. The international community must act decisively to prevent a wider war. Diplomacy backed by credible threats of sanctions and other forms of pressure is essential to bring both sides to the negotiating table. The alternative is a protracted conflict that will leave the Middle East in ruins and further poison relations between the West and the rest of the world.